Hello, Theo here. It's that time of year again for Level Up Expo, so it's time to do our primer and show for the locals. So as always with these primer guides, we're going to go over what it's like at the event, some of the stuff going on around the event, food places, weather, but I wanted to make sure I put in this one caveat for anyone who's seeing this that's not been on my channel before. I am a fighting game channel, so I will be talking a little bit about the esports aspect of it as well, so welcome to the channel. So first thing we should talk about is the environment of the event. This is a convention first. So for my fighting game players, there is big tournaments happening there, but it is a convention first, and there's going to be a huge amount of artist booths and dev booths and people like showing off new like products and things like that. They always have a really cool like indie alley with a bunch of games and stuff like that that you can go test out. So this is a very like go meet your favorite voice actor, go buy some stuff, tournament second kind of event. With that said, TNS is running the tournaments, so it's still going to be huge. I'm not trying to downplay the tournaments, but just if you're coming in as a competitor, just understand that it is a convention first. And with that said, for any of my people playing in tournament, make sure you get there very early. Level Up is a little bit notorious for having extremely long lines to get your badges and get in. And we've had incidences in the past where people have actually had to be DQ'd from their pools and events and stuff like that because they had to wait in such a long line. They showed up a lot later than they probably should have. So if you're in pools, if you have an event going on, make sure that you're showing up really early. This also goes for anyone who is getting like going to meet a favorite creator or going to meet like a favorite voice actor. Make sure that you're there early enough to get through the lines. They may have solved that problem. I didn't go to the Level Up last year when they were in the West Hall, but they're back in the South Hall, and every year that they've been in the South Hall, that's been a bit of a problem. Once you get inside, though, the event is really fun, and it probably has like the largest, like, I wouldn't even call it artist alley, just like largest group of people selling things that I've seen at one event. It is just lots of cool, just really cool vendors. So if you can, make sure you have extra pocket change because it's one of those events that you're just going to want to buy things. You're going to see really cool stuff, and there's going to be all sorts of unique little things as well as big companies selling stuff there. So just be prepared. Your wallet's about to take some damage. Outside the vendors and things like that, it is Vegas. This is the convention center, so they usually have bartenders on site. The drinks will be more expensive than normal because it is sort of a Vegas thing. However, the convention center's drinks are some of the cheapest out of all of the like casinos and stuff like that. So expect to be spending a lot of money if you're gonna buy drinks there, but there are fully fledged bartenders and like they can do a lot of stuff for you. At the South Hall specifically, usually they have a station set up right in the middle of the event where you can go and get drinks, sodas, things like that. And since I'm sort of sliding into that anyways, let's talk a little bit about food options. So at the actual event, usually they have food trucks. The last time they had it at the South Hall, it kind of hung out here and then over here kind of. But if you're willing to leave the venue to go get food, like if you're willing to like Uber somewhere or maybe you're a local going, there's actually a lot of food places right nearby there that are much cheaper than getting food near the strip or at the convention center itself. There's a Cane's not too far from there. I think it's like a 35-minute walk. There's a whole mall called the Boulevard Mall right up the road on Eastern that has a food court and everything. But if there's one spot I'm going to recommend to you guys that's like not too far from there, there is a coffee place called Tayabi's Coffee and Waffle. It was one of my old like stomping grounds because I used to live in this area that the convention center is in. It's one of my favorite spots to go. They do amazing waffles, but if you're going to go, they have this thing called the Twilight Lavender Latte. Get that. If you like your lavender, get that shit. It's my favorite like coffee drink I've had in most of Vegas. Some exceptions, coffee class, I see you, but Tayabi's is really close. Like from the convention door, it's about 30-minute walk. It's like a 6-minute Uber, but it's like a great breakfast spot. So if you want to go get some food, I think they're open like 7 to 5 or 7 to 3, something like that. You can go look that up yourself, but it's called Tayabi's Coffee and Waffle. Here it is on screen. Go there. And one other food spot shout out I want to talk about. It's not near the South Hall, but if you hop in the Vegas Loop and you go around to the West Hall exit, There is a place called Bagel Mania, which is like a mom and pop bagel shop that's been around in Vegas for a very long time. I remember when they used to be back on Swenson and Twain, or on University Center Drive now. But they've been around for a long time, and they have some of the best bagel sandwiches I've ever had in my life. So if you're feeling a little adventurous and you want to go from the South Hall over to the West Hall using the loop to try a really great bagel spot that's like a mom and pop place, I'd highly recommend them too. One other thing for food, if you're on a budget, there is a Vaughn's very close by. It's like about a 20-minute walk, like a 4-minute Uber. And you can go there and just grocery shop. You can go grab all the stuff that you want and bring it back to the hotel so you can save some money. But there's a Vaughn's, and there I think is like one or two other grocery stores nearby. I'm pretty sure the Vaughn's is the closest, but definitely go and do that if you just want to save some money. Now, talking about getting around. Now, I was looking around on their website, and I didn't really see any necessarily associated hotels, so I don't know where everyone's going to be exactly staying. But there's a monorail that is like right around the convention center area that you can take that's very cheap. It literally like lets out at the South Hall Convention Center. So if your hotel is near the monorail or attached to it, I would recommend taking that. And if you're staying on the Strip, you could always consider taking the Loop. It's like this underground tunnel that has like electric vehicles driving through it, and it's pretty cheap. So you could take the Loop because the Loop actually drops off at every single hall of the convention center, including the South Hall. It just lets out on the back side of the South Hall, so you have to walk around the building, but it's actually a really good way of getting around too. So if you're like actually on the Strip, the monorail and the Loop are both really good options for you. Now, if you're not on the Strip, there's actually like a bunch of hotels right around the convention center, so I'm assuming you'd be in one of those. In that case, it should be pretty easy for you to just walk over to the convention center. Now, if you're not at a hotel that's nearby the convention center and you're not on the Strip, our bus system is pretty good. I can recommend it. It's not the greatest, it's the bus system, but there's just so many hotels near-ish the convention center that I'm going to assume that you're nearby. You could also just Uber to the convention center. They have their own like drop-off center and everything like that. And the pricing is actually pretty good because the convention center, while it has a lot of Uber drop-offs, it's not like when you're like getting an Uber to the airport. Now let's talk about weather. You guys are pretty lucky. I was checking the forecast. It seems like it's going to be hitting the low 80s. It'll be like 85 to 89 for that entire weekend. So you shouldn't need to worry too much about it being like super hot. However, I would highly recommend that you wear sunscreen because the UV index here is still very high, and even waiting outside in the possible long lines, you can get really burnt here because it's just so arid and the UV radiation is super strong here. So if you're coming here from somewhere else, make sure that you're putting on sunblock if you're going to be outside for any substantial amount of time. Also, make sure you still bring your water. It's not humid here, so you're not going to be sweating a lot, but the heat here is very deceptive. It will suck you of all your moisture, and suddenly you're going to want to pass out. So just make sure that you bring a water bottle. The convention center does have water fountains inside of it, so you can refill your water bottle. So bring an empty water bottle and just have it with you. And if you're new to like the tournament con scene, you're going to hear this a lot from a lot of people. Always bring some kind of light jacket because most of these convention halls are like super well air conditioned. So even though it might be 85, 90 outside, that hall might get cold. So make sure you're prepared with a jacket even though it's going to be really nice out. Bring a jacket with you just to be safe, a light jacket. You don't need anything super heavy because again, it's going to be like near 90. It's going to be somewhere between like 85 and like in the high 70s. Possibly peaking up to 90, but still have that jacket because anytime you go to these kind of events, these facilities are super well air conditioned. Editing Theo here. I realized I forgot the most important thing about coming out to an event. Make sure you wash your ass. This is going to be a big, possibly crowded convention center. Not just a tournament space, but a convention center filled with all brands of nerds. So listen up and listen good. Wash your ass. I'm not trying to smell you. You're not going to smell me because I'm going to put on deodorant. Wash your ass, put on deodorant. If I smell you guys, I swear I'm taking you outside myself. Wash your ass. I'm getting rusty. It's been a while since I've yelled at people to wash their ass. My bad. Now talk a little more on the South Hall itself. I know that they've gone through some major renovations, and I have not gone to the South Hall since the major renovations happened. However, every time I've gone to level up at the South Hall, It's been very cramped. I say that just because like it's a really popular event because it's super cool, but be prepared to maybe be claustrophobic. The renovations may have fixed this problem, but when I went, and I think it was 2023, it was just really crowded, and not a lot you can do about that. You're a popular, cool event. Sometimes that happens, but I would mentally prepare for it, but it may have been fixed. I just wanted to put that out there, though. Some other really cool things that they have at this event is usually they have wrestling. Like one of our local wrestling team goes in there and they put on a whole show. So if you get a chance to catch our local wrestlers, do that. It's so hype. They do all sorts of crazy stuff. They jump off the turnbuckle into tables. They do like the whole 9 yards. It's like it's really fun and really cool. They throw people into the crowd. I mean, like they've done like shows where guys end up getting cut up. I've gotten blood on me from it. Like it's a really cool, super authentic and fun wrestling experience. So like over the top. They're pulling that stuff out from under the ring. Check it out. If they're there, check out the wrestling. They also run a lot of like card game events, so you'll see a lot of like people playing card games, trading. They usually have some booths associated with card games, so if you're one of those types of people who just enjoy playing, TCGs, go check that out. And I think that's it. I'm really excited about Level Up. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to go. It's my anniversary weekend, so if I get a chance, I'll be there probably on Saturday. So if you guys see me, feel free to come up, say hi, dap me up. I'd love to meet you guys. You'll probably catch me in the back in the esports area cheering on my boys because I know we've got a bunch of people going to compete for Street Fighter and Tekken. And if you're here the week before the event, like if you're here like earlier in the week, we host fighting game locals pretty often. So if you're interested, you can come check us out. And I guess that leads into the catchphrase. Get out there and support your locals or come support mine.